Hey, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. You can always contact the show, 706-889-9700. You can send me an email, chief@fetchernews.com. That's our 24-hour tip line there. If you see news anywhere in North Georgia, also send me a text about what we're talking about on the show. Or if you ever want to be a guest on the show, send me a message. We'll get you on here, and there's all the social media ways you can follow the show. Now, I got one message back, and I want to go ahead and read this from one of our viewers. I asked Congressman Doug Collins what the Republicans expected to accomplish in the last couple weeks of the year here of 2018 as they lose control and become the minority in the House and Democrats take over. And one of you out there, you answered, your answer to what they plan to accomplish is from one of our viewers: the Republicans' legislature will accomplish exactly what they have since they took control of both houses. Nothing, nada, zero, zilch. A big, fat, greasy nothing burger. Drain the swamp term limits. And I'm just telling you, that's the feeling. Congress, Republicans in the House want you to, when I say believe, they want you to believe or know that they have moved bills over to the Senate, but they have not. If they would, I feel if they would have accomplished what many were looking for, they'd still have control over there. So, and that's a pretty deep subject as we get into it. But they have moved. Let me show you here. Number one, quickly here. Number one, the 7th is the day that they're supposed to have a spending bill. Republicans, their last opportunity. I don't know how to put it. This is the Republican House. This is their last opportunity to spend our money. I mean, you got to think it like this. I mean, the hell with everything else going on with Russia. Look at this calendar. The 7th was the day, and in true Republican fashion, and they're going to tell us it's due to, the things that changed as the 5th here, the 5th day of December. Tomorrow will be the funeral for at the National Cathedral there in Washington, D.C. for the 41st President of the United States, George Herbert Walker Bush. So they've moved Friday's spending bill to the 21st, which is circled there that Fox put up there. And I'll say it one more time and move so you just absorb this. This will be the last opportunity House Republicans have to spend our money before Democrats take over and have the authority to spend our money. I'm wondering which one. Okay, so there you go. Okay, now moving right along, I want to talk a little bit before we get into what the media will not show you. And we're going to do another one of those BKP takes an opportunity or attempts to talk about foreign policy or foreign events in the world events. I didn't like world history. Let's go to number 2. And we're going to go through these pictures. I want to make a quick explanation. Here is the casket being moved in to the rotunda of Congress there. And let's go to number 3. As you can see, our great military, thousands pay respect to Bush through the night. There's the casket again. Let's go to number 5 that I have. And there's former President, and this is former President George H.W. Bush. Trump and First Lady pay respects. There is Trump. And let's go to number 7, as CNN put up at 5 a.m. this morning, Bush, or 4 a.m. this morning, Bush lying in state. right there. You can see. Now, I want to explain the 3 wreaths, whatever. Having wreath trouble today. You see the 3 there, okay, in the President of the United States. Now, let's go, it'll be easier, number 8, okay. You see the 3 there. Now, let me say this, okay. And I think yesterday at 5 o'clock, I think in schools today they should be watching this. They should watch the hearse pull up, the casket be taken out. I think every student should have to watch our military as they carry their commander-in-chief. You got to understand that it's their commander-in-chief. Okay, it's very important to me. Sometimes I go over the top with stuff that people don't understand. How I get emotional over this because these people, this is their commander-in-chief, and the power that's in that our children do not recognize. Okay, it's so disturbing what's going on. All right, so they should have to watch this casket move into Congress. Now, I think on the west side of the Capitol, if I get east and west mixed up, let's not get upset. On the west side of the Capitol is where they hold the inauguration. On the east side of the Capitol is where the president finishes as his term, basically, in public service by going into the rotunda there to lay in state. I mean, symbol of this great democracy, this great republic for which it stands. Republic for which it stands, one nation under God. It just means so much to me. I watched yesterday at 5 o'clock. I'm not getting into down the weeds of anything where this president is concerned at this time. But on one side of the Capitol, when the President of the United States is inaugurated on January 20th, okay, the one side of the Capitol steps, they give the inauguration speech. They address the nation. They address their troops. They're now the commander-in-chief. They address their troops on that day. They address the citizens, this entire nation, and they become the President of the United States. He served 1 term, okay? Now, on the opposite side of the Capitol, he goes in. Now, yesterday, the branches of government, which children, oh my God, it just upsets me that children don't understand. The branches of government are represented. All branches of government are represented. And that casket is sitting on the pedestal, we'll call it that the same casket, Abraham Lincoln's casket, sat on. Okay? Quite a moving afternoon as I watched this. Now, what happens is the Supreme Court comes in. And let me explain this, maybe for Joe Scarborough and Minka that maybe do not understand, or David Ignatius, or Barnacle, and some of the lefties on CNN. What happens is this ceremony here is the branches of government, okay? All branches of government honoring and respecting and saying goodbye to the commander-in-chief. So you have the House of Representatives. Why did Paul Ryan give a speech? Because Paul Ryan is the Speaker of the House, or not a speech, eulogized. So Paul Ryan eulogized on behalf of the House of Representatives, that body, okay? Why did McConnell? McConnell spoke and eulogized on behalf of the Senate. And why did Mike Pence on behalf of the executive branch? Why did let me ask you a question. Why was the Supreme Court there? Think about it. And they did not lay a wreath or make a comment, because that's the intention of the Founding Fathers. Never. That's exactly right. So what happens is that at the end, that casket is surrounded by 3 wreaths. One from the House of Representatives, okay, all right. One by the Senate. Now, I'm not going to say a president never does this, okay? One by the Senate, as you look there, okay? One by the executive branch, vice president. Why vice president? Now, I'm going with this, okay? You can look, I could be wrong. Vice president. If you look at that, there's only one commander-in-chief there at that time. There is House of Representatives, there's the Senate, there's the vice president, and right there is the president of the United States. That's why that was done like that yesterday. Exactly. The Supreme Court was there. They don't speak. They don't put a wreath. Just telling you. This is the greatest. I love Inauguration Day. And I know how angry you're going to get. I watched Obama's. Okay. The second one, when they had a second term, I don't watch that much. But I watched Obama's. Okay. I watched George H. I watched Reagan's, from Carter. The greatest transfer of power in the world, all right, is on that day, the greatest transfer of power. And this is like the final greatest transfer of power when we show honor and respect a president of the United States passing like this here. So I'm just telling you, I think every kid, I don't know if I'm right or wrong. You might say I got so much there wrong. The military, all the branches are represented. They stand guard. I call it guard. They stand watch. I guess watch. Okay? All the branches are represented in the military. And as you can see one more time, the President of the United States is in the center. The House, the Senate, and the Vice President. And the Supreme Court was there, but did not speak. It just gives me, I watched it yesterday afternoon. I had to rush home to watch it because I love this country. It's things like this I absolutely just love. The United States of America. All right, I just love it. I don't hate this country like the media hates this country. I don't hate this country like the resistance hates this country. I love this country like the only thing I've ever thought President Donald Trump is guilty of, according to the left, is just loving this country. So that's all I want to say there. I want to take a brief break so I can set up another segment and not interrupt that. But we'll be watching tomorrow, at the National Cathedral. And then President Bush will then leave after the National Cathedral. His casket will be taken back to Texas, where he will be buried next to Barbara Bush and his daughter, I think Robin. I hope I have that correct. I'm just doing it from memory. Robin, who I think died of leukemia at 3 years old, but died, I think, at 3. He has one daughter that has preceded him in death, and Barbara, he'll be buried alongside his daughter and Barbara Bush. So there you go. I'm going to take a brief break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to get into some politics of some sort. We'll do that. Take us a break, Josh.